Hello everyone, welcome to Code Languages. In this video, we're going to be looking at the old school way of writing for loops and the new school way of writing for loops. Loops are quite important in JavaScript because every now and then we're going to have to work with a large amount of data, and we have to be able to loop through the data and grab what we need. So that's what loops can help us accomplish. All right, so loops are pretty important. Now there is an old school way of writing loops, and then there's a new one. So we're going to write some samples here, some sample coding, and we'll just use that to help us do comparison, right, with the old school and the new school. So I'm just going to go ahead and declare this variable here called hobbies. So we're just going to create some kind of a little database where we're just gonna call this an array, but it does look like a database, but it is a small little array. So it's gonna be an array of hobbies, right? So I'm just gonna go ahead and add let me add driving in here. Let me add camping. All right, let me add what else can we do? Teaching, right? Teaching. Let me add a few more, maybe boxing. All right. Maybe we can add, let me just add one more, drawing, something like that. All right, so we have an array of hobbies in here, and we're now going to write our for loops. This is the old school way of writing for loops. All right, so we're going to add a for loop, and the purpose of this for loop is to run through this data or this array and print each one of these strings out, instead of writing multiple console logs to print each one of them out. We just write one code to get that done, right? So I'm going to go ahead and write a for loop. And this is the old school version, the for loop, which will be let I, that will represent an index, because we want to index this array. Okay, the indexing is just simply going to check for the position of each string in here. All right, so the first one will be 0, right? So we're going to set it to start at 0. All right, and then I'm also going to write a condition that will check to make sure if the task has been accomplished, and if the task has been accomplished, the loop has to end. All right, because we do not want infinite loops. Infinite loop is not good. All right, we want the loop to be ended once the task is accomplished. So we're going to write this small little condition here, and then we're going to say as long as the index is less than the length of the array, as long as that index is less than the length of the array, we want the loop to continue. But as soon as the index is bigger than the length of the array, it is going to be false. The loop has to stop, right? So we're gonna we've added that, and then we're gonna add one more, which will be the I++, and the I++ simply increases this index by 1. Okay, so anytime the loop runs, 1 is added to it, so it's gonna be 0, 1, 2, and so on. All right, and then we're gonna add the body of the for loop, and then inside of it we're gonna console log. Let me add this interpolation here. I enjoy. Let me add this right here and say I enjoy hobbies. Okay, something like that, and then I'm gonna add the index right here. Okay, and let me maybe add a period before that one here. All right, so you can see right here that this is the old school way of writing the for loop. For those of you that are beginner level in JavaScript, sometimes this might look a bit intimidating. So we're gonna go ahead and run this and see what happens, and then we're gonna write the new school way of writing this for loops, this same for loops. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and run it, and as you can see right here in the console area, let me pull this up a little bit. You can see that this little code we put in here ran through the array, and within a matter of seconds, probably just 1 second, it printed everything out in over here, right there in the array. Okay, you see how powerful for loops are, right here, everything is printed out. All right, so like I said, this is the old school. We're gonna go ahead and write the new school, but the result will be the same. All right, so to do that, I will go ahead and comment this part out because we don't want any error message. Some of the variables have already been declared, so if we don't comment it out, we will get some error messages. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this guy down, and we're gonna write a new school way, a new school for loop. Okay, so let me go ahead and delete the console. All right, good. All right, so the new way of writing this is gonna be, I'm gonna say something like constant. You know what, let me borrow this data right here. Let me borrow this so I don't have to rewrite the whole thing again. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna declare this same variable, okay, as hobbies, and then we're gonna say for constant hobby of, oops, sorry about that, hobby of hobbies. Okay, and then I'm gonna use my curly bracket and say console log, and then let me use my iteration here. Oh, let me interpolation. I enjoy, and then I'm gonna put my curly bracket hobby. Okay, and then maybe a period right over here. All right, and then close. All right, so guys, do you see how clean this this code is? All I did was just rewrite this in the new version. Okay, so this is the the new way of writing for loop. Now another name for it is the for off loop. All right, it's called for off loop. This is the new way of writing it, and the result is going to be the same. Once we run this code right here, again, you can see that it ran through this array. It says constant hobby of hobbies, so it ran through all of this array right here, and then it printed each one of them out. See right there, printed each one of them out. Quite easy, very easily readable. All right, it helps us avoid mistakes, and bugs, right? So that's a really nice way of writing for loops. Okay, we can also use this new school for loops to print out the character of strings too. So let me go ahead and comment this one out because we don't want no error messages. I'm gonna go ahead and comment this one out, move them. Okay, let me delete this console. All right, so in this sample here, we're going to print out the characters of a string. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say constant, let me use the word message here, and maybe we're going to set it to the message we want is congratulations, something like that, right? Congratulations. And then we're gonna write a for loop to print out each of the character of the string. Okay, so I'm gonna say for constant character of message. Okay, and I'm gonna open up the body of the for loop, and I'm gonna say console log character. All right, something like that. Okay, and when I run this code, you could see right here that it prints congratulations right here. See right over here, let me pull the console up a little bit more. See right here, it prints this out. So we can use the new school for off loop to print out the characters of a string. All right. So what other things can we use this new for off loop for? We can also apply breaks. Okay, and what is the purpose of a break? Remember I told you we don't want our loops to continue running, endlessly once the task has been accomplished, right? So whenever we get certain things done, we want the loop to stop. Okay, because when a loop that continues to go, sometimes cause your computer to freeze and all of that, right? We don't want that. So the break can help us jump out of a loop once we accomplish a certain task. Okay, so let's see a sample of how we can use breaks. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and comment this guy out here. Let me comment here. Let's see right here. Okay, let me pull him down. Pull this down. Okay, now let me go ahead and borrow. This one right here. I'm gonna borrow this array of hobbies and put it right up here. Okay, so right now we're gonna write a for loop that has a break in it. Okay, so what we want to accomplish here is we want to run through this array of data, and we want to print cooking, driving, camping, right? And then we want to print teaching as well. Okay, so once the array or once the loop reaches this end right here, we want it to break. We don't want it to continue anymore because we only wanted to print the first 4 of them. That's cooking, driving, camping, and teaching. All right, so we're gonna, in the code we're about to write, we'll put a break in there that as soon as teaching, cooking all the way up to teaching is printed, we want the loop to stop. So our output will not have boxing, drawing, and any other stuff, right? So you just want what you need, and once you get it, the loop stops. Okay, so let's go ahead and write this for loop right here. So we're going to write for, and I'm going to declare this one here, and I'm going to say for hobby of hobbies, let me put this right here, create the body, and I'm going to add an if statement that says if hobby is equal, if hobby is equal to boxing. Okay, if hobby is equal to hold on, let me put I needed a parenthesis around this. Okay, so if hobby is equal to boxing, then we want to put a break. Okay, so as we want the loop to continue, but as soon as the loop sees a string that is equal to boxing, we want it to break. Other than that, we want it to print out. Okay, so we want to put a console log, and then I'm gonna put hobby hobby in here. All right, guys, so you can see what's going on here, right? So the for loop is saying that I want you to run through this array, all right, and print each one of them, you know, as long as you have not yet encountered the string boxing. Keep printing. So you will print cooking. We haven't encountered boxing yet. We print driving. No boxing yet. We print camping. We print teaching. As long as the looping encounters boxing, and boxing is the same as the hobby, we want the loop to stop. Okay, that way we can just get the 4 hobbies printed out. So let's go ahead and run. Let me clear this console area here, and hold on, let me pull this guy up, and I'm gonna run this code. So as you can see right here, cooking, driving, camping, and teaching has been printed out. And once we got to that part, the loop stopped. There is a break. You see right there? So that means we don't have to worry about any other data after teaching. The loop has just stopped. See how powerful for loops are? It's really, really helpful, you know, in JavaScript. All right. Another thing we can also do is add continue. And what continue does is, hold on, let me just go ahead and comment this out, and then we'll do a sample continue. Okay. So continue is sort of like the companion of break, although they're different, but you know, it's good to also know continue. Hold on, let me borrow this. Let me go ahead and borrow this. Let me go ahead and borrow this array because we can reuse it. All right. So what continue does is that we're gonna write a code that will print each one of these strings in this array. Okay, but whenever the loop sees any string that is, say, camping, we don't want the loop to print camping. We want the loop to skip camping and go ahead and print the other ones. So you see how powerful continue also could be. It can help us avoid some specific data and print the other ones that we need, right? So let me just write a code to give you you know, a better understanding of how this works. All right, so I'm going to write a for loop here, or well, it's a for off loop, right? So for off loop, so it's going to be, I'm going to say constant hobby of hobbies. All right, and then hobby of hobbies. Okay, and then I'm going to add an if statement, and I'm going to say that if hobby is equal to, let's see, what should we skip? Let's skip camping. All right, so let's say we want the loop to skip camping, and we want to say continue here. Okay, so something like this, and then let's add this console over here, console log, and I'm gonna print hobby here. Okay, now let me delete this console so we can, so right now we see here we're saying that we want to loop through this array and print everything in this array except for camping. Okay, so when the looping starts, we could do the first two, but whenever we encounter camping, where hobby is equal to camping, we skip camping and we print the other one. So let's go ahead and run this, and we can see right here that cooking is printed, driving is printed, but when we got to camping, because of this continuum here, it skipped camping and it went ahead and printed teaching, boxing, and drawing. All right, so guys, I just did this video to show you how cool the 4 off loops are. You know, the old school one does look a little bit intimidating, but if you learn this new school one, it makes it easy. It's very easily readable, and it's easy to use. All right, so I hope you found this video useful. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video, and whenever I post new videos, you'll get notification. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful day. Bye.